Welcome to the HeroC podcast for July. We're having a mini podcast this month as we've got a few things to work out for our beginning of our new host coming in, hopefully at the beginning of August, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. Again, welcome back everyone. We talk about our 5 C's: comics, characters, creativity, connections, and culture. So we've got 3 basic things we want to talk about today. And that really is this new craze going around that suddenly hit everybody called Pokemon Go. Yeah, it's taken over. It really has. In fact, there was several articles about it specifically. What is Pokemon Go? If you really want to understand what Pokemon Go is, you have to go back to the beginnings of Pokemon in 1990. The video game designer Satoshi Tajiri began hammering out the concept of Pokemon, which combined a childhood hobby of insect collecting with his love for video games. Catching insects to urbanization, kids in their homes had forgotten about catching insects. When he was making the games, something clicked and he decided to make a game with that concept. Initially, Gotta Catch 'Em All, which was originally released on the Game Boy subsystem, but then it really just was Americanized and westernized contraction. Ultimately, Pokemon meaning pocket monsters. Yeah, it can sound inappropriate, but the original first-person game centered on a young trainer capturing 151 different types of Pokemon, ranging from vaguely ones that look like turtles, which was Squirtle, all the way up to the most popular one, which is the electric donning Pikachu, which is the most recognizable one by far for Pokemon. So really, that's the history of who they are. But not everybody is playing Pokemon Go. When you have to really figure out what this really is, it is an interactive, functional game where you take your camera on your cell phone, your smartphone, and you're like interacting in the visual, in the real world. And suddenly this app brings up different Pokemon with which you can interact, lure, basically capture or quote unquote catch them all. But here's some words of warning. Do not play this game while driving. Yes, it is a game. It is still considered a game. So don't Pokemon Go while driving. It's just like texting or talking on the phone. It is very distracting, and you can end up injuring yourself. There have already been noted several accidents due to them playing Pokemon Go while driving. Again, if your plan requires data cost requirements, that's the same functional you're going to have to pay unless you have unlimited plans. So go ahead, everybody, and play what you can. If you really enjoy Pokemon, it's the next step up for its interactual virtual reality interplayed with physical reality. So that's what's going on with Pokemon Go. The next item I wanted to talk about was how to get collaborators for your indie comic project. So many people that are beginning out in the actual annals of comics and sequential art and graphic novels, they really want to work with people to see their work out there, as well as get some, they want to get paid for it too, but they're willing to accept minor amounts compared to the industry standards, because those are just, unfortunately, not available to the job market for independent publishers or writers working on projects. Digital webbing is a really big venue that you can look for and find these jobs for hire, especially with anthologies or working with as collaborations and teamwork. But there are a couple of things that you really need to remember that you need to do if you're interested in trying to get your work seen and get involved in these talented projects. Put yourself out there, number one. You got to have yourself out there. Have any type of digital portfolio. You've got to have your presence. Digitally, you've got to be able to get involved in putting on and answering these ads, like at digitalwebbing.com. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to be involved. Second thing, identify talent and determination. Okay, you've got to be able to really pay attention to the differences of techniques and styles And if you're looking for an artist or artists, then you've got to be able to see what you're looking for, how much you're willing to pay per page, per service, and stick to it, okay? You can identify some really good potential people that will work with you if they're getting something for the work done up front, as well as the potential to get more materials and more jobs, no matter what technique and style they use. Be optimistic. There are artists out there that want to work with the writers, and they help raise each other up. You find the same level of career productivity, and you really need to quote everything on the exact wording. Do contracts. That protects both of you. Do live up to those contracts and pay their worth. That's ultimately what's going to keep you as a reputation. And you'll find more artists that want to collaborate with you on your independent work. Next thing is to appreciate your collaboration. Share with the other creators to help one another put out art into the world. Everybody can really look together to helping each other on different projects. It gives everyone the next step up. The last thing I could really tell you is advertise. Whether it's Kickstarter, whether it's getting more comics produced, whether it's fun banner trades, renting space, it's just all kinds of things that you can do to support the actual product. And it does help the artist, because if you're getting paid, then they're getting paid. If you're advertising, they should be advertising. Word of mouth is very powerful, but it definitely gives you new venues to connect with your independent project. There are more things under this heaven and earth than Kickstarter ratio, and I recommend you finding out and utilize them. Okay, the last thing I really wanted to talk about, and this is where we're going to take the most of the rest of the time today, and that's focusing on our new ode to puppetry. I want to thank Solomon Mars very much for giving us a push in this direction. He's going to be utilizing a puppet for his videos, direction videos, to really help him get out of a creative slump and do some more great artwork. You can definitely check out his site over on Patreon. It's SMARS, Solomon Mars, at patreon.com. He also has a DeviantArt page. He's very Googleable. He'll also be at this upcoming Atlanta Comic Convention off Exit 91 in Decatur, Georgia, and that is August the 14th. He'll be there from 11 to 5. Go check his work out, and tell him we sent you over here from Hero Central Studio and HeroCentralTV. Puppetry is a classic developmental level of storytelling. You can do so much with the things in these areas. In fact, you'll be looking at several images of component requirements that are needed in the actual production of the puppet itself. We intend to utilize our new puppet named Squatch. Yes, as in Sasquatch, shortened Squatch. He's a fanboy from another dimension. So he's trapped here, but he's found himself totally in love with all things geekiness. So you're going to be able to see the design here at the end of today's podcast, where you see the furry-like effect of the Sasquatch, the big mouth with the large teeth, furry hands, all held within the confines of a white t-shirt with our logo brand for HeroCentralTV, and an oddly colored jacket with a hoodie that he wears on at all times. The most important things you can see are the glasses that he wears to denote his geekiness. He finds that to be very in tune with what is going on. We're going to have fun with Squatch. You'll be able to actually hear him host pretty soon. He'll be guest appearing with several different videos as well. And so we're going to be utilizing him in several different scenes for productions, as well as possibly taking over the video aspect totally of the presentation. So you definitely give Squatch a welcome hand, and I hope everyone else here we'll be able to enjoy understanding and working with Squatch, because we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. Okay, everybody. Well, like I said, this is a shorter version this time, and we're going to be utilizing more technology as we're going forward. Some old school, some more high tech. So just keep your eyes out and open for what's going on with HeroCentralTV, Hero Central Universe, as well as Hero Central Studio. So www.herocentral.org